Hello YouTube, Adam Bigott here once again, bringing you the third game, the conclusion of this heated match between me and Eric Shen of Team Saki. We see me mulligan right off the bat, a little frustrated. I had the communication, candy, zone, and collector all in hand. First collector I had in my opening hands so far, but alas I have no basic. So he will remember to take his extra mulligan card this time. So rough start for me. It's a couple mulligans. I've noticed that the deck does have some problems with mulligans. It does run 2 Thundurus, a Zekrom, 3 Dynamo, a Cleffa, and 4 Magnemites. So that's 11 basics though. So that's 1 in every 5.5 cards or something like that. I believe is how that math works out. So not really um, too common for me to mulligan that many times. We do see that I lead with the Dynamo. I did have the Zekrom in hand, but I was kind of a little nervous to bench that simply because it has a high retreat cost. I didn't want it to get captured. I don't really know. It doesn't really matter though, I guess. I'm kind of torn here between we see me kind of thumb over the Thundurus, thinking maybe I should get that. But in the end, I think I decide to grab a Dynamo, which is probably the better play. And then I communication out my Magnezone. I show it to him to make sure we're straight. And I actually decided to go for Cleffa here. I feel like this is a pretty good play. I get out, a full setup, and I get an Eek. So it's like I get to play 2 supporters really in one turn, at the expense of attacking. I also get my second Dynamo out of the active, as it is, It's never really good to have Dynamo active, unless you're going to Thunder Wave to paralyze Stall. They're very frail, and they're really precious to your setup. Not as much as Magnemites are, but nonetheless, I care about them more than I care about Cleffa, and Cleffa helps me get set up. So I decided to Eek. Eric also has the turn 1 collector. He's been hitting him a lot more than me, but we run the same number. We both run 4, so, luck of the draw. It happens. And we do see him get out a 2 Cyndaquil this time, which is nice to see. The first 2 games were kind of funny. I dead drew and had my lone Eelektrik turn 3 donked, as we see some money exchanging going on. I think my friend bought a Thundurus off of me. That's kind of funny that that's on the battle vid, but whatever. But yeah, so we saw me get turn 3 donked in the second game, and him having all those benched all those prized Cyndaquils. So we see him just attach and pass, and I believe, and I get my 6 cards, and I managed to wake up from sleep. So kind of the ultimate trolling Cleffa wise. I choose to play my Sage's Training off the bat. We'll see what I take. I think I saw an Eelektrik. I do see me discarding some Lightning, which is always nice. We'll see what I get though. I get an Eelektrik. I attach for turn. I'm able to Dynamotor. And wow, so far this is looking like a pretty good turn. I do see a candy in my hand, but I decide to Eek again. So here I should be looking to kind of hope that he doesn't have the turn 2 Typhlosions. The more of his Cyndaquils that I'm able to take out with Zekrom, which is my thought is using Zekrom to attack right now. Because this deck really does function in a way that you need to count the number of prizes you take with Pokemon other than Magnezone, your secondary attackers, and usually 2 to 3 is the golden number. And Zekrom's really great for this matchup too, because a lot of times I'll have the 10 damage from Afterburner. They'll be able to KO Reshirams. But right now I am more focused on the Cyndaquils, just taking those out. And we see a Sage from him. He's got a pretty sizable hand now. And we're going to see the Typhlosion come out, so not the thing I really wanted to see. He drops another Reshiram. I don't believe he has any fire in the discard. I think I might even ask, but we'll see. I think that was what we are kind of pointing at. And he'd also need the catcher, but so a little bit of excuse me, a scary situation. We do see I have the catcher though. I'm gonna be able to do some work with my Zekrom and whatnot. As I attach to it, I decide to Dynamotor to a Magnemite, which, I mean, at this point, there's really nothing else I need a Dynamotor to. The one drawback of Cleffa is that I am forced to give up a spot for a secondary attacker. I'm sure at this point I'd like to be building up a Thundurus too. We see me go for the communication on the Thundurus, and I believe I have a candy in hand, and we're going to see the turn 3 Magnezone. Magnezone turn 3 is still very effective, especially since I was going first this game. And you know, it's definitely going to help me get set up. The deck doesn't run the most draw supporters, but yeah, this is looking like it's a pretty solid turn. I have an Awake Cleffa, a charged up Zekrom, and we're going to see me catch her out for the Typhlosion here. I was checking then to see that he doesn't have the energy, so I know it'll be a 2 attachment retreat unless he can get some energy in the discard now. But I also do believe I have a Junk Arm and some other ways to get out additional catchers. Here I believe I am just kind of thumbing through, maybe trying to set up another Magnezone. But it turns out that my Magnezones are actually prized. Two problems arise from me having the 2 Magnezones prized. One, when I fail the communication, I indicate that the 2 Magnezones are prized. Two, I don't really have ways to consistently take those prizes in the late game. Usually Zekrom is good for taking a single prize against a Reshiram, and then getting turn KO'd, and really just limiting the number of prizes I have to take with Magnezone. And Thundurus is really only good for the early game, and really I end up on the bad side of a 2-1 prize exchange. So I'm kind of in a tight spot. We see me go for the Outrage, just in case he does hit a Miracle Hand and is able to attach enough energy to retreat, and then Blue Flare, I will still be alive. I have another catcher if he does retreat, or a Junk Arm, rather, to get a catcher back, and Bolt Strike next turn. I stand by not putting the damage on myself and playing conservative here when I do only have the one Magnezone that I'll have access to. I do know my Super Rod isn't prized, so I can rely on Super Rod, but I much rather have the Magnezones in my deck, and it's really not a safe situation I'm in. So you see Eric, when he plays the Sages, he kind of isn't really sure what he should discard. I don't think he hit any energy on that, so it's really been the hardest part of this match for him to this point, is not being able to get the cards he needs in the discard. And I feel like in the first game he struggled putting too many energy in the discard when he couldn't get out Typhlosions because of prized Cyndaquils. So kind of the opposite here, where he can't get any energy in the discard. And we see him take one card to his hand, I think. And we'll see what he chooses to discard. So long turn. There's not too much to say here. You know, he's just got to take 2 and discard 3. And I do see a communication. I don't see any fire, though. So we see another attachment, and he's pretty much just given up on the Typhlosion. Or no, I believe he just afterburned to it. Okay, so he did get fire energy in the discard. It's kind of a weird play not putting anything on your Typhlosion, but I guess he's accepting. Actually, no, it's pretty much KO fodder at this point. So I Magnetic Draw to get my hand up. Not really sure where to go with it. I have the rare candy. I could get out. You know, there's nothing really for me to set up at this point. I decided to Bolt Strike, take a prize card, and Huh. Some confusion going on. Not really sure. Okay, so I do take the prize using the Bolt Strike, and we'll see where he goes from here. Decides to Candy. He's able to get out another Typhlosion, so much for me effectively stopping his energy acceleration. He goes for a Collector here too, probably to try and set up another Typhlosion, or begin to set up another Typhlosion. And he might even grab out another Reshiram, just in case. But he grabs Cleffa. Um, Not sure, maybe communication fodder, maybe junk arm fodder. I don't really see Cleffa being too useful at this point when you have Reshirams and you have a Typhlosion. But so he benches the two Cyndaquils, which is definitely the right play here. And he's got the Gust of Wind, which is again the catcher proxy, and he's gonna catch out my Magnezone. So an interesting play. He drops a plus power, and we see him junk arm for the double plus power KO. This really caught me off guard, being able to blue fair for 140. I don't have any Magnezones that I have access to now. I will be able to take a KO against his Reshiram due to afterburners, and I am able to set up a Thundurus with 3 energy in the background. But at the same time, that only leaves me with 1 Magnemite on the field, so I'm not. It's hard to say if that were a good play or not, because I could always wait for Zekrom to get KO'd and kind of use those Dynamotors um, by promoting a Cleffa after Zekrom's knocked out and another bench space opens up, and then Dynamotoring and then free retreating using Cleffa. But in any case, I know I need to take the KO against the Reshiram immediately. Limiting the number of Reshirams he has is going to help. I do see the catcher, but I also need to take KOs against Reshirams with Zekrom while he's out, simply because my other Pokemon aren't going to be able to do that. Here we see him drop a Quilava, and another Collector. He grabs out 2 Reshirams. Oh, I think he runs just about every version of Reshiram that's ever been printed, although there are 4, so maybe he should maybe he doesn't have one of the promo that the tin promo. But we see a Reshiram dropped. And he decides to attach 1 to his bench Reshiram. Not really sure what he's thinking here. He afterburns that one. I don't run plus power, and I think he knows that, so I'm kind of confused by the bench afterburning. And I decided to play a catcher, get out his Quilava, and what I should do here is retreat into Thundurus and take the prize with Thundurus. The 2 energy that I burn retreating could be re-dynamotored, but instead I decide to just outrage with Zekrom. So I feel like that's a bit of a misplay in that I'm not conserving Zekrom when he's really, really useful in this matchup. But at the same time, prize count's getting, or the prize number of prizes I have is getting a lot lower now. I might have hit a Magnezone yet. I'm not sure. Have been playing a lot of catchers though, so I can't really rely on cheap KOs. Using Thundurus too reliably at this point. Although we do see another junk arm, so I guess I'm wrong on that front. Do have another cheap KO if he can't evolve both his Cyndaquil and his Vulpix this turn. He's able to get the 2 energy he needs onto his Reshiram with 1 damage and Blue Flare me. And I am, at this point, going to go out to my free retreater Cleffa, which is a good play. hoping I can drop down another Magnemite. I do, which is always good, especially when he's easily KO'd. Decide to Dynamotor one onto each Magnemite. I correct him in terms of afterburns. He wasn't up to 2. Not too big of a deal. I just want to be punctual about it. I Junk Arm, and I get out another Cyndaquil. And figuring partially that Vulpix hasn't evolved yet, and at this point I don't think he's going to go for it. And I'm just able to Disaster Volt, and I believe it's here that I finally hit the Magnezone. So he's able to Blue Flare and Revenge KO, and the prize exchange is going pretty quick at this point. I promote the Magnemite, which definitely indicates to me that I do have the Magnezone. Candy into it, I believe. I don't think we saw me drop the candy, but I know I did. There it is. Okay. Just kind of straightening everything out. I should have 3 energy attachments this turn, and I think I only have 2 prizes left. So at this point, I'm pretty confident that I can just Dynamotor my way to victory. I I use my magnetic draw, and I play the Super Rod instantly, knowing I can get back another zone. Choose to get back Zone and Zekrom, and then I think maybe another Magnemite. All of which is helpful. Maybe even a Lightning Energy, just so I can be sure to attach to get a 3 attachments per turn, 1 manually, 2 Dynamotoring. But I grab one of those. Probably the Magnemite, though. I feel like that's the better play here. I do have a lot of energy on the field. And I believe I play a supporter here. Thinking that's the Sages was my supporter. Yeah. And at this point I believe we see that maybe a Junk Arm of some sort. Yeah, Junk Arm for a rare candy. Some kind of way to evolve Magnezone. Sorry you can't see my discard. That was a big mistake. Not being able to see my discard and really how I'm playing cards out. But I do get the double Magnezone in this turn, which is pretty big. I catch her out for the Typhlosion, just knowing that that's really the last of his energy acceleration, and I decide to Lost Burn 3, take the KO. Really have board control now, and I believe I have a Soul Prize left. Eric drops his hand, and he's going to scoop, realizing that he can't take out the Magnezone, while I'm just going to be able to continuously not continuously, but lost burn that next turn and take the final KO. So good game 3 between me and Eric Shen, and I'm able to pull the series out in the 3rd game. And thanks for watching, guys. Bring you more content soon. Peace. Hey guys, just thought I'd bring it back to me real quick. Professor Pikachu and I want to talk about the matchup a little bit, just in general. From my experience, this is definitely a favorable matchup for Eelzone. Kind of interesting in that Eelzone is a stage 1 energy accelerant and a stage 2 attacker, whereas Reshiphlosion is the stage 2 energy accelerant and the basic. So the deck that has more evolutions ends up having the favorable matchup, which is kind of counterintuitive when they do have the same goal. The reason being is that you're both able to catcher each other's bench sitting energy accelerators and one-hit KO them. Blue Flare easily knocks out a Eel, and burning for 3, which is the same as really KOing a Typhlosion unless they have afterburn to it a lot, is or afterburn to a Reshiram is equal to it's an equal amount of energy burnt. But really the advantage lies in that it is a lot easier to when you do hit that catcher and then lost burn KO with Eelzone against Reshiphlosion's Typhlosions, it's a lot harder to build up that Typhlosion again than it is the Eelektrik. Also, I feel like Eelzone players are more likely to run recovery for their because both their Eels and their secondary attackers and just everything seems kind of a little more fragile. So the Super Rod does make it a little more a recoverable deck. Additionally, you do have access to N. We didn't really see it too much here, but having the late game N isn't the greatest against Reshiphlosion. The deck can kind of live off of the field a lot more than other decks can. but I do think that's another thing that pushes the advantage over the edge and to a point where it's a favorable matchup for Eelzone. So that's that matchup. Just wanted to talk about a couple things. I'm going to the Chicago Marathon. I think I mentioned that in my intro video, but I'm going to try and bring some coverage there. I don't know the tournament organizers there, though, so I don't know if they'll let me record anything. Hopefully they will. Hopefully I'll make some top cuts, and I'll have some. I could probably get those recorded if it's okay with my opponent and the TOs. So yeah, sorry about the cutout. People in my house. It's Christmas time. Everyone's crazy. I hope you understand. But I don't know the tournament organizers. I don't know if I'll be able to get any content from the actual tournament itself. But if I can't, then I'm sure I'll be able to find someone who'd want to do a best of 3 with me, get it recorded, get it onto YouTube. You know, people like seeing themselves on YouTube, so I'm sure that's not a big deal. Another thing content-wise that I want to bring you guys, my league does some really fun alternate formats. I know Top Cut's done a lot of them. Kyle Sukievich, I think he did one like the best of 111 game series with a two-time world champion Jason Klasinski. So I think they did one, and they've done some of these. Our next format that's coming up is a 60 HP basics only, or 60 HP and under format. So that should be really interesting. Trying to figure out how decks are going to work in that. Obviously, Rocky Helmet's going to be dominant, but we'll see how that goes. Excited to bring you more content. Hoping I'll get some more subscribers, and by that I mean more than 2. But I'm excited to do this, and I'm hoping to just keep bringing you guys enough content and eventually just bring people here. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Can't tell you what my next best of 3 series is going to be or what the matchups are, but if you start subscribing, leave some comments below. If there are any matchups you want to see, I can probably make it happen. I'm thinking about learning how to do screen recording stuff so I can get some play TCG.me matches because those are really easy to get, more easy than live matches. But yeah, thanks for watching. Please subscribe. It would really help just with my numbers and stuff, and I really want to get this kind of operation off the ground. I'm rambling. I'm going to go. Thanks for watching. You're great. Bye.